Beautiful to everyone here. Boy, am I glad to see you all again in this video. Now, the lesson for today will be posted to our textbook on page 48. Yes, Unit 4, page 48. And the topic for this page will be a day as a volunteer. Yes, and the objectives here will be reading a webpage, and you will need to listen to 3 short conversations. So this is the objectives for Unit 4, page 48. The topic for page 48 will be a day as a volunteer. The young lady over here says, volunteering is a great way to help the local community to learn new skills and make new friends. Boy, I truly agree with her. And we shall read this webpage together. See, it says that have fun and do something useful this weekend. Are you aged 14 to 16? We need you for these great volunteer days. There are 4 activities here, and the first will be work with wildlife. Find out what it's like to work in a zoo. You can help the zookeepers for a day. Duties include feeding some of the animals or cleaning the penguin pool. More activities available, and the location is Chester Zoo. Next activity will be a friend to a blind teenager. Accompany blind teenager on holiday in London and let him or her see the sights through your eyes. The location is London. Activity 3, clean a beach. Join one of our green teams at your local beach on Saturday and help to pick up litter. Location will be all over the UK, United Kingdom. And the 4th voluntary work will be help some insects. Bees and butterflies are disappearing from the countryside. Plant flowers that will help to bring them back, and the location will be the Dartmoor National Park. So here I will tell you more about voluntary work. Well, the book asks us to search for the website to find out more about voluntary work in your area. So first, we need to find out, is there a difference between a volunteer and a voluntary worker? Yes, there is a difference there. For a volunteer, it is generally defined as a person who performs work for charitable, humanitarian, or civic reasons for a public agency or non-profit organization without the expectation, promise, or receipt of any compensation for their work. As for voluntary workers, they can only work in charitable or not-for-profit organization like NGO, our non-government organizations. Now, what are the benefits of working with the NGOs, non-government organizations? Here, the first one. When we volunteer our time and effort in service of others, it is a great way to broaden our horizons and to connect with new and similarly passionate people. And 2, we'll be able to hone our interpersonal skills and pick up new skills that will help us to better pursue our personal, professional, or even social goals. The 3rd benefit or advantage would be it will also help us to develop a sense of gratitude, being thankful for things that we might otherwise take for granted, and help us count our blessings every day. And 4th, all in all, as we take our time off our busy schedules to give back to a community, can be a life-changing and a very rewarding experience. So let's try that out. Yes. And there are some organizations in Malaysia that we can volunteer our services to. All right, and here I have 3 NGOs here. Okay, one of them will be the WWF Malaysia, and WWF stands for Worldwide Fund for Nature. So WWF Malaysia was established in 1972. It is part of the WWF, the International Conservation Organization, and working to sustain the natural world for the benefit of people and wildlife. WWF Malaysia's efforts to conserve nature focus on 6 major goals: forests, oceans, wildlife, food, climate, and energy, as well as fresh water, and 3 key drivers of environmental problems: markets, finance, and governance. And what do volunteers do there? So volunteers play a role. Yeah, if you want to be a volunteer there, you get to play a role in helping the organization to raise funds, to build awareness around their campaigns, and you also get to interact with the public about their causes. Okay, the next NGO that you can volunteer your service to will be Mercy Malaysia. www.mercy.org.my. And Mercy Malaysia has also evolved into a full-fledged humanitarian organization offering the full spectrum of humanitarian services, from emergency response to rehabilitation and recovery, mitigation and prevention, and disaster preparedness. So what would the volunteers do? They assist Mercy Malaysia in various ways, such as helping out in administrative work at the headquarters and during events or on field missions to disaster-affected areas. And volunteers who are deployed for missions on the field will need to undergo training to equip themselves with the necessary skills to stay safe and maximize their contribution to the mission. And the last one here will be UNHCR. It stands for United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. And you can find the website under www.unhcr.org. So UNHCR, what is this UNHCR do? Alright, the UN, it is a UN refugee agency, and it is a global organization dedicated to saving lives, protecting rights, and building a better future for refugees, forcibly displaced communities, and stateless people. And it is the leading humanitarian agency providing protection and assistance to the world's refugees, as mandated by the UN General Assembly. And what do volunteers do there? So volunteers, offer their time, resources, and expertise to assist refugees and asylum seekers living in Malaysia. Yes, they assist with an extremely diverse range of projects. So we do have quite a number of Malaysians and non-Malaysians volunteering their time to help the refugees under the program of UNHCR volunteer program. So here are the 3 NGOs that I introduced to you, which you can actually volunteer yourself to. And of course, this will be for those who will be of probably around the age of 18 onwards. Yeah, okay. And for the one in the webpage itself, you can volunteer your work for for neighbors around. Yeah, and of course there are other activities as well which you can help in a day. So we shall go to exercise 1. In your exercise book, remember to write down the day and the date, and write down page 2, page 48, and the topic as well, a day as a volunteer. Now let's look at exercise 1. It asks us to read the web page and answer the questions. Well, we have read the web page. Now, what is question 1? Which activity or activities lets you 1. Help another person? Well, as you look at the activity just now, there are 4 activities given in the web page itself. For question 1, it says help another person. So we can see that there is a person here, a blind teenager. So this is a person, and you are going to help the blind teenager. So the answer for question 1 will be a friend to a blind teenager. That is the answer for question 1. Let's go to question 2. Do something positive for the environment. Well, the environment, beach is definitely one of them. So out of these 4, beach is the closest to environment. So it's a place. So here the answer will be clean a beach. For question 3, care for animals. Oh, by the way, clean a beach. Okay, there's one more answer here. Insects. Alright, help some insects. So insects has something to do with the environment. So we will add in one more. Clean a beach and help some insects. That's the answer for question 2. And for question 3, care for animals, wildlife. So wildlife refers to animals. So here we write down work with animals. Okay, there it is. Exercise 1 is done. For exercise 2, it asks, which activity do you think sounds the most interesting and why? So out of the 4 activities here, you are required to write one of the activities here and to give a reason or more than one reason. So it's up to you, but here I've already prepared four activities with the reason given, and the first one will be work with wildlife. Well, the reasons are simple. You can write your own reasons, depends on what your reasons are to work with wildlife that you find it interesting. For me, reasons are I love animals, or I'm an animal lover, and I learned to conserve the nature by caring for and working with animals. So simple, right? And for the next one, if you prefer to be a friend to a blind teenager, which you feel is the most interesting, well, for me, my reasons are I would like to learn how he or she manages his or her daily needs, and I get to learn not to take things for granted. That's my answer. And if you have a better reason for that, why not? You just write down your own reasons. And for C, if you prefer to clean a beach, which you find most interesting, alright, here are the reasons. My reasons are I love cleanliness, and I hope I can do something to preserve our environment. Yeah, our environment. Okay, D, if you find that helping some insects is the most interesting activity, and you have your own reasons, so write it down. And my reasons are I am concerned of the imbalance of ecosystem nowadays, and I want to do something about it so that the ecosystem can be kept balanced. So that would be my reasons. What would your reasons be, and which one would you like to to carry out? Which activity here that you would like to carry out, and why do you think it's the most interesting? Why? out of the 4 here, you can pick one of them. That's it for exercise 2. For exercise 3 and 4, I prefer to combine them together. Let's look at the questions here. Listen to 3 short conversations. Which of the activities from the webpage are the teenagers doing? So I put it in this way, conversation 1, whereby I put the activity here in the first place. 2, as the first question. 2, what does the boy want to do? And 3, what does he see? So now I shall start with the conversation 1. I shall read out the conversation 1, and for the audio script, I will put it in, in the explanation for the YouTube under the video itself, so you can find it out on the YouTube. Okay, now for this conversation 1, I shall read out the conversation like this. Here it goes. Boy 1 says, "The sand looks much cleaner now. Can we have a break? It's hot." Girl 1 says, "We can, soon, but there's still plenty of rubbish to pick up." Boy 1 says, "Oh yeah, there are some cans over there. Let's go and get them. Bring the rubbish bag over here, Tina." Right? So can you find out what activity is that? So these can be found under these. So it's either one of these 4 activities. Okay? So I read out the conversation once again, just in case you don't get it in the first place. So here, conversation 1. Boy 1 says, "The sand looks much cleaner now. Can we have a break? It's hot." Girl 1 says, "We can, soon, but there's still plenty of rubbish to pick up." Boy 1 says, "Oh yeah, there are some cans over there. Let's go and get them. Bring the rubbish bag over here, Tina." So here, activity. What would the activity be? So it talks about getting some cans. The sand looks much cleaner now, so it means clean a beach. Is the activity 3 on the web page itself. So 2, what does the boy want to do? So he wants to have a break. So we just write down the answer, have a break, straight to the point. Question 3, what does he see? Well, he sees some cans. Some cans over there. Some cans. Okay, this is for conversation 1. As for conversation 2, let's read out the questions. I put the activity as the first question. Activity 2, where will the girl and boy get off the bus? 3, what will they do there? So here I shall read out conversation 2. Girl 2 say, "We're getting on the bus now, John. Careful. That's it. 1 to Oxford Street, please." Boy 2 says, "And 1 ticket to Oxford Street for me too, please." The driver says, "There you go." Girl 2 says, "Thanks. Let's sit here." Boy 2 says, "Ask, what are we going to do now?" Girl 2 answered, "I'm going to take you to my favorite café. It's got the best sandwiches in London. Are you hungry?" Boy 2 answered, "Yes." So here, the activity will be. So, what do you think? These are the 2 children or 2 teenagers having a conversation. So there are 4 activities here. So I would say 2, activity 2, be a friend to a blind teenager. So because the girl say, I'm going to take you to my favorite cafe. So the blind teenager would be, I guess it would be the boy. So activity will be a friend. Be a friend to a blind teenager. Two, where will the girl and boy get off the bus? It will be, it says there, just remember, try to recall what I mentioned just now. So the girl 2 says, we're getting on the bus now, John. Careful, that's it. 1 to Oxford Street, please. So we just write down Oxford Street. And 3, what will they do there? So the girl plans to bring John to her favorite cafe because it's got the best sandwiches in London. And see, yes, we write down go to a cafe, yeah? Yes, that's it. That's the answer for conversation 2. And for conversation 3, here, activity 2, what food is the boy giving the giraffes? 3, where are the people going next? So let's listen to conversation 3 carefully. A woman says, right, Anthony, here's the food for the giraffes. You can feed it to them by hand if you like. Boy 3 asks, okay, like this? And the woman answered, yes. Don't worry, they're very friendly. They're enjoying those carrots. Right, in a minute we're going to go over to the elephant house. The elephants like playing with water, so you might get a bit wet. And boy 3 answered, sounds fun. The woman answered, yes, it is. Here, I've got this waterproof jacket for you. And boy 3 answered, great, thanks. So the activity will be, it has something to do with feeding animals, feeding the elephant. So here we would say work with wildlife. Two, what food is the boy giving the giraffes? What food would that be? Well, the lady say they're enjoying those carrots. So we say some carrots. If you want to put the answer with just one word, carrots, that will be fine. Alright, let's go to question 3. Where are the people going next? So after feeding, alright, so after feeding the elephants, they are going to the elephant house because elephants like playing with water. And so here we write down the elephant house. Alright, that's it for conversation 3. Remember, I shall put the Audioscript in the explanation for the video on the YouTube itself. And if you have any question, drop me a message. Alright, and I'll try my best to answer your questions. Thank you very much, and I hope you learned something today by being a volunteer for some activities that you would like. Alright, hope to see you the next video. Thank you very much and have a great day.